metal is around 8 inches. Yeah. Okay.
And the dose.
We took those measurements. Our health physicists were there doing the monitoring, and it was maybe half of what we predicted. I can't remember. They're recorded in the radiation work.
Would that be a part of the application?
Say again?
Would that also be a part of the application?
The exposure that was picked up during the inspection is not recorded in the application.
No,
but he wants to know the dose rate.
The dose rate once you lifted it up.
Colonel, that's not in our application.
Okay.
No.
Question.
Yeah. No.
It was less than we anticipated, and I can't remember the exact numbers.
Our review, not necessarily as a part of CAST, but the job review, as Jim said, the health food system, X number of people looking at this material for X amount of time. This is what we project, wind up being about half of what.
Next slide. This shows, now at this point we've moved from the bottom to the top. This shows the top of the cast, the grid. We didn't have a formal grid system, but it shows you where the angles the pictures were taken from.
The north arrow.
Yeah.
It makes everything common with production.
Right. So this is when we climbed up to the top. This is what we first saw. Again, the paint's in good condition. So we removed the top cover, which is the next slide, and the paint was, I'll call it pristine, original condition, which is indicative of no moisture underneath. That's a good thing. So we saw absolutely nothing on the underside of that cover. Then, next slide. So this is what's under the cover, and I'm going to do my Jerry Springer. All right, I'm going to point. This is the sealing surface. Cover, bolt, punch. Pressure. Now, we saw no indications of any corrosion, any indications of anything on any of those components. We removed. We obviously removed all the cover bolts when we took the cover off, and we did a detail inspection on 2 of those, and didn't find anything, cleaned them, didn't see anything.
Folks on the phone, if you could please mute your phones until we open up the phones for questions. And if you don't have a mute button on your phone, you could press *6. Thank you.
And then for the neutron shield cover is also bolted on. We removed 2 of those.
Mute off. Mute on.
For good shape.
Did you anything with loosening, or any loosening of the bolts at all, or?
Not that we did. They were all tight. All of the bolts were tight. No. Now we keep under that cover. We as part of our procedure keep 2 5-pound bags of desiccant. So if that keeps it very dry under there.
Standard practice?
Yes, that's for us. It is. Every cask has 2 5-pound bags of desiccant inside the cover.
Forward looking.
Next, yeah, all right, I'm done. Thank you.
This diagram, some of you may have seen last fall. I'm going to ask Rich to speak to this.
Okay, yeah, this is the infamous timeline covering licensing activities between our high burn-up amendment request and our licensing activities with license renewal. So above the line are the high burn-up activities, below the line are the license renewal activities, and this is not to scale. Just try to depict the kind of the leapfrogging or overlap of the licensing activities as we envisioned them. On the left, on the top, you see the high burn-up license amendment request we did submit in August 2015, so we call that complete. And then translating over towards your right, we see the license renewal application to submit late April or early May, as Paul had mentioned. We're anticipating completion of the license amendment review for the high burn-up cask in the January 2017 time frame. at which time, and we're going to be working on it still, we're planning to submit a supplement to our license renewal application right after we get the completed license amendment request. So we have an LAR and LRA, but obviously we'll be working on our supplement to this license renewal application for the high burn-up cask, while you are still reviewing. Obviously, we're not going to wait until we get the amendment request approved to start working on it, because we want NRC to have as much time as possible to look at the supplement. August 2017, we anticipate loading the high burn-up cask. That is our current plan, and we're on schedule with high burn-up activities. And then June 2018 is the scheduled completion of the license renewal application, which would include the supplement. That's how, when we started out the high burn-up cask project, we were a couple years ahead, and it took longer to get contracts, and then scheduling with DOE and the parties involved. So it was at that time in advance of license renewal application. Well, it ended up with the delays kind of interweaving with our license renewal. So this is our plan. We had presented about a year ago in May, I believe, first, and then again in the fall. It is still on schedule. The only thing I think that has changed is we would like to move up getting our supplement to you into maybe January, February next year, so you have as much time as possible to look at it.
Question, Rich, and for you or other members from Dominion. So since the high burn-up fuel cask, it's unique in a way. I mean, it's to support the DOE and every demo. And, even though the details of the demonstration are sort of outside of NRC licensing space, I guess there's an expectation that the high burn-up fuel cask will not be stored. I think currently it's maybe like 10 years or so. I think it's and I recognize that can change. But have you thought at all if the high burn-up fuel cask would never really reach an age where you would begin aging management? So, right now, even though it is a site-specific license, for the ISPC itself, this individual cask might not ever, reach 20 years where you would need to begin aging management activities. Did you guys give any thought to that as far as licensing space and maybe the possibility of conditioning the license with the high burn-up fuel cask to just limit the storage term of that, specific cask? I was just wondering if any thought was given to that so far.
I think we kind of looked at it more. We're relicensing the facility, and this is part of the facility. So you bring up an interesting point. I guess our initial thoughts were just a supplement, which I don't think would be a significant change from what we provide to similar casks.
And the cask will be the similar materials
Yes,
and everything?
there are some design features that allow us to verify with thermocouple lances down inside the high burn-up cask. A couple sampling gases, I believe. So there are minor design deficiencies. I guess the one point I would bring up is that the way the current new reg is written, if you have a license amendment, either your license renewal information with that license amendment request, or you provide it in a license renewal application. So, I'm not sure how we would not provide that information based on the new Reg 1947 revision.
All right, so give me a high-level discussion. Obviously, the application is going to come in. It's just, I think, under 200 pages, so there's a lot more detail, and you can see when you get it. I have to say it pales in comparison to a plan application, which is about 2,000 pages. Just to reiterate, Dominion's got a lot of experience with license in its license role. So I see that as a positive. Had a lot of the same team members with me. We're all getting a little grayer and a little taller, but it's been a benefit. We've had our technical staff here, along with us on the ride as well as the site. So we've had a lot of engagement, very positive. Everybody's been very supportive. So, to be obvious, we feel we're going to be compliant with the regulations, Part 72 and Part 51. We follow the new regs. Did what we thought we could do, because we're in that tweener stage between Rev 0 and Rev 1. Because Rev 0 will be will be the official Rev when we issue. And I know you're going to ACRS this week, but it's probably going to take 30, 60 days after that before Rev 1 hits the street.
It depends if we need to go to a full committee of ACRS. We have a subcommittee meeting on Thursday morning, and then there's a scheduled full committee. If we need to go to full committee, that would be on April 7th. And there's a question, we actually have a question for the ACRS when we go in on Thursday. If we do go to full committee, we would need to wait for them to, write a letter to the staff. And so we have a question how long that would take. From the time we hear from ACRS, it would be about a month, weeks maybe until publication, because it takes about a month for the publication process, and then maybe a couple of weeks for the staff to make any changes for the ACRS comments.
We also have the MAPS report that through contracting issues ourselves, it was delayed a little bit, but I think you said you got the first version back last Friday?
Yeah, just to bring up where that stands. We are, let's just say, 2 or 3 weeks away having a product that will go through our. And if for those familiar with the Nuremberg 1801 and prior, this is the renewal application. I don't think anything about it. I mean, I really just tried to wrap together all the experience of the reactors for and so at the present time, like I said, we're a few weeks out, 2 weeks out, 2 or 3 weeks out, where we feel we have a solid product that will do our current process. And I think that product will be publicly available 2 or 3 weeks. Obviously, it's not time for you to do anything, but it can be a nice reference point for discussions. We start early.
We're hoping to get that out there. I asked a question. So when this comes out and we have to provide a supplement for our application for the high burn-up cask, how do the new regulations and maps apply now?
Hope that, but will come out soon. They have document. So not a final. We're a year away from a final document. So I would say it won't come into play. It won't come into play. It'll be a piece of information for people.
Yeah, hopefully, it's really all the review cycle. It takes we're going to get the document completed. It has to go to ACRS. It has to go through a public comment period. ACRS has, you want to even call it 3 bites of the apple to review it. And so we're hoping that if they look at it and say, hey, we don't need to have you come into the committee because they're not here in June and July. And if we had to get on the calendar, it won't be until maybe in September, their calendar, so that we can get it out there. And we're just hoping that if we can get this out there, get them to take a look at it, peruse it, think, oh yeah, this is not that big of a deal. Let's go out for public comment, and that means we can go out there much quicker. But these are all things that, to answer your question, when you come in, none of the regulations will change. It's just the guidance that has changed. And but I think that you've been involved with how for the past couple of years, so I think you're well aware of it. And just from what I see here, just from the way that you've handled your pre-application meeting last fall, and explaining how you were deciding on which canisters you were going to pick, or casks that you're going to pick, and talk about what you want to do, feedback. We've gone through and done, all this, so that we can now compare in the next renewal cycle as well, or your other inspections that you do. Those are all key attributes to what we've been changing, and to make it more in line with the reactor. So everything we see here is in line with what this whole new process is moving towards.
The whole second point, we've been staying engaged with regulatory.
Yes.
And on top of that, of course, NEI has got their document that they're going to issue. So stay abreast of that as well. So, you will be having, we'll hopefully, Tina's working over there on working to finish our review of that document, have a public meeting, and then hopefully we can, at some point later on this year, endorse bits and pieces of it or entirely the whole document. That's what Gina's working on. So there's, like I said, a lot of second line. In my last point, we think the effects of aging for the calves in the concrete pad will be adequately managed, that there is reasonable assurance, that's the key words I want to use, reasonable assurance, not absolute assurance, reasonable assurance that the function will be maintained in the period of extended operation. Those lines get blurred in years. I just want a reasonable assurance. Yep. So with that, that's the end of our formal presentation, and I'll turn it back to you.
And go with questions, and actually I have a question to start. When we were at the ISPC, we visited the ISPC this fall, I think I recall there being like an earthen berm on at least one part of the ISPC, and I was curious if that's credited at all as like a shield or a barrier for those to meet 72-104 dose limits, and if that's considered part of the design basis. So I was just curious if that's considered part of the design basis, and if we'll see anything like that.
It is not considered part of the design basis. That was actually a natural feature that was incorporated into the construction of the ISPC. We just kind of left it there. It is not credited on the dose evaluation, nearest resident, nearest boundary, or anything like that.
Okay, great.
So we didn't cover it.
Just one more point of clarification. Our SAR does contain a statement that it reduces radiation levels. However, and that's a true statement. We do not credit that in the analysis.
Okay, thank you. And how about NRC folks in the room? Any questions? Go ahead, Ricardo.
There are no updates, PLAs, or things to be included in the LRA. The data confirm
We contracted with Ariva to review all of their calculations. We reviewed our calculations that were incorporated in the safety analysis report. A lot of them are time-related, obviously, but none of them we identified were specific licensing periods for the cash, whether it's 20 years or 6. Based on that, a lot of, everyone's screened out for one of the 6 criteria or another, primarily because most of them, or none of them actually, that the licensure.
I'm sorry. How much bullet
Pretty short. Yeah. You either meet the criteria or you don't. You didn't meet the criteria. Now, there's some calculations we had to revise. I understand. So those are not PLAs, but just calculations.
Let me correct Paul there, just one aspect. We have statements in the STAR that the 20 years. We have 2 statements. However, when you look at the analysis is not based on 20 years. We simply made the statement that these are acceptable for a 20-year period. It kind of implies, that must be a TLA. Based on it, the fact that it doesn't define time license. Well, the way the application is written, that obviously we don't know 10 years from now whether that cask had a leak, it had to be put back in the pool, and the heels changed. So the way the application is written now is we can perform it on a cask of our choice. Obviously, those casks are still there. Those would be the preferable cask to look at the baseline. But we don't want to have to submit a text spec amendment or a license action request. Just cask. Yeah.
think,
Currently, do we have CAD? I know we have one of the concrete unset. Well, I took probably 7 or 8.
Yearly, isn't it?
Right. Right now, I'm not sure. I'd have to look back at the application to see what's really in there.
We have several pictures we'll be providing in all, but we'll take that.
I'll just do with scope in.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, obviously, if our inspection results are available. It's very clear. It's also stated in the SAR supplement. They're both the current accepted standard. Yes.
Folks in the room? How about NRC folks on the phone? Any questions from NRC folks on the phone? The Dominion folks, do you guys have any questions for us before we open it up to public questions?
I was just curious. I've seen some challenges at sufficiency. The last couple of applications, I didn't really see part of the test based on my experience. I just wanted to bring that up and see if that's always a great. Some of the questions have been very famous for this, and that one. That's my mistake. That would just be, I don't know if it's changing or expectations internal to the staff. Give any feedback on
That's a fair so we have our internal procedures. We have office instructions for how we review. And with the acceptance review, we did update our procedure for our acceptance reviews 2 years ago. I think it was about 2 years ago. And the thought, so we've seen multiple rounds of our and our current schedule, our current match, we assume 1 round AI. So when we were saying, 2 rounds, our review schedules were getting very long. And so what we did is we pretty much beefed up our acceptance review to look at, to kind of give a closer look at the application. But what we're looking for is, do we have enough information to complete our technical with the goal of just having 1 round of RAI. So, looking at the material application, any supporting reference material, is there enough there to complete our technical review with just RAI? So we are, I would say maybe a little bit more detailed acceptance. And so with acceptance review, so with the acceptance review, we would be doing that. We expect a 30-day acceptance review for this application. So within 30 days after the application is docketed in Adams, you would expect either to see an acceptance letter from us or a request for supplemental information. But, as we're saying, Paul, you noticed a little bit, maybe more, we call them RSIs, requests for supplemental information. We are doing a more detailed acceptance review in the beginning just to make sure that we really do have enough to complete a technical review with 1 round of REI.
So, we face this on the renewal side, and any I sent times at the time.
Folks on the phone, could you please mute your phone lines? And if you don't have a mute button on your phone, press *6, please. Thank you. Sorry, Paul.
What we're trying to focus on with second license, build on some learnings, is more of an escalation process. We're going to go past 1 round of REIs. We need to start and on both sides, make sure that we understand each other, providing what you need. Because I think some of that is lost in translation. So, you got a question that's information. Maybe we can hit the mark. Maybe we can understand the question. Yeah, we do what we can to, make sure we understand the questions. Because we're getting a 3, 4, 5, and then it's open item on the SER. How do we get there? So we're trying to deal with that on the plant side, and encourage the same behaviors maybe on our side. That let's act more aggressively up front and try to deal with it.
And we do have also in our process, so when we get to the stage where we have draft RAIs, we can have a call or a meeting to talk through those, and pretty much what we're looking for, is it clear what we're asking? Is it clear what we're asking and what the basis is, why we're asking it? So what we're asking and why. And then that helps us, that helps you understand, what we're looking for. If we need to, make the RAIs clear, we could do that. But we do have that as part of our process, so we could plan to do that here. And then also it gives us a chance to get from you, after you see what we're asking, a time period for how long your response would take, 30 days. Right. We can incorporate that as well. And I think that it's very beneficial to both parties to have the open line.
To be fair, we made progress in the license and the reactive, right? It's prescribed.
We have some challenges. Yeah, we have some challenges. On our side of the house, with respect, I think even with the numbers that from us out to prior with the whole change of the price, we're seeing, and I know we're seeing better and better applications coming in, with better and better calculated things, and the amps that are coming are now going to 10 steps. They're becoming better, and that's what we're hoping from you. And if we can get that kind of flavor that we're looking for, and like you said, keeping it involved with like 7 updates and the NEI, 3 updates. With that, it's better, more stable, also more. You want to train it? Portal for big start, machine, big. Evan, if I can consider this information exchange.
It is a little challenge from our helpful when you're talking. We heard that on the plan renewal side, that some platforms, e-rooms, only let you open up one document at a time. There's others that allow you to open up multiple documents. That's the one we're pursuing. So I just wanted to bring that up. It might be related to our network. So you have to
look at what are you guys using now? I mean, for our inspections, we normally use citrus, and where you can dump a lot of the electrical documents on it. We were able to open multiple documents at one time. And it was like a portal, and we had questions just to go ask someone to drop that onto the. So that was one that we used in inspection space. So I don't know. Now they're moving over to another e-document system.
I couldn't tell you explicitly which one we're using. However, in one part of our department, we have that's so. In fact, I came from an NEI meeting last week where that was the topic of discussion, and we're addressing that. I want to work with you all.
I just wanted to broach the topic and see if there's any interest. We use a product from Scientech, and that's true. So. And I think one of my last questions is schedule. The sufficiency letter. What's the typical length for plan renewals? 20.
So we've been talking a little bit about schedule, and we don't have, we're not going to give you the detailed schedule today, but we are planning to, with this renewal, do it within our metrics. Our current metric for a storage application is about 12 and a half months. Now that's excluding the time that the Dominion would have either to respond to any RSIs or RAIs, so that, just add however many months for that. But we are planning to complete the review within the metric. And as you mentioned, the last few renewals have taken longer outside the metrics. But now that we feel that we've been working on